Hi, welcome to Angela's Anything Show, and today I'm going to be giving you guys a listicle. Oh, boom, listicle. So today's an interesting day. Well, this video is an interesting video. Yesterday was 2 years that my dad has been dead, which is really weird to say. He died of cancer in 2014. 2 years isn't very long in the grand scheme of life. It's like no time at all, but at the same time you feel like you can like look back on it and be like, whoa, that was fucking nuts. Anyway, I wanted to make a video about this for a while, but I hesitated because I truly don't want to upset any of my friends or any people that were so supportive of me and my family during that whole time. The outpouring of like support and just people being nice and great to you is during things like that is really awesome. I used to always wonder when, like before this happened to my dad, I used to always think about people who were going through similar situations, and I always wondered, is anything I'm saying, like you feel like you're just saying all these like cliched things like I'm sorry and I'm thinking of you, and I always wondered, is this actually helping? But now I know, being on the flip side of that, that yes, that is very helpful and it is nice to hear that, and it isn't pointless. But with that said, you know, I always have to have an opinion and a point of view, and you know, this would be a pretty boring channel if it was just like, here's my neutral thought all the time. So I gotta just say what I gotta say. And this, while it's supposed to be tongue-in-cheek, is also meant to kind of be helpful to people that maybe don't know how to react or how to talk to their friends or loved ones when something like this goes down. So hopefully it's a little funny, because death, funny. Am I right? Cancer, hilarious. And you know, I don't know, fuck it, here I go. Here's my list of things to not say to somebody whose parent is dying. And in this case, we're gonna use dad. It could just as easily be mom. A pleasure I haven't yet had to experience. Just kidding, mom. So the first thing that people say, I can't imagine. Oh my God, I can't imagine. I can't imagine what that's like. As if you imagined it, like as if I was like, oh well, I actually created it in my mind, I imagined it, like the Stay Puft fucking Marshmallow Man in Ghostbusters.
Tried to think of the most harmless thing. Something I loved from my childhood. Something that could never ever possibly destroy us. Mr. Stay Puft.
Nice thinking, Ray.
And here it is, it's now come to fruition. Luckily for you, you've never imagined it, so don't worry, it's never gonna happen. And also, like, I still can't imagine it. It's not like, and then one day I was like, I couldn't imagine, and then it happened. I'm like, here it is. I still, you know, you're still in a state of like disbelief, even years later. You still are like, wow, I can't believe that that should happen. Number 2 things not to say to somebody whose parent is dying / dead / fucking pieced out of this universe. Oh, were you guys close? No, hated him. Don't even care that he's dead. Never liked him. But don't you think you'd be like even more sad if you weren't close with your dad, because you'd be like all these regrets and shit? Which leads me to number 3, which is a combination of both number 1 and number 2, which is the real doozy is, oh, I can't imagine that me and my dad are really close. Good thing that I wasn't close with my dad, because otherwise. To me that's like implying like, oh, like this happened because you weren't close with your dad and you imagined it. Like, did I create this? This is probably my fault, right? You know, the reality is that no matter how close you are with your parents, like they're both gonna die eventually. So maybe start thinking, I think that you should start imagining it and start thinking about it a lot. Just kidding. Is all this shit I'm saying super snarky? I don't know, what do you think, Dad? Well, Angela, you just gotta express yourself. Little dead dad humor. Sorry, guys. Number 4, comparing it to the death of like a relative or a pet or like a lesser level person than your parents. No. It's not the fucking same. Or people that are like, oh, that's really sad. I remember when my mom died and she was like 90. I'm like, yeah, that's usually when they die. My dad died when I was 27. So while it's really nice and like comforting in a way to hear from like older adults about their similar experiences, there's still like a part of you in your head that's like, well, fuck you. You had like way more time with that person. So it really isn't the same. You know, it's just not the same. But I guess it is the same, I don't know. I mean, I don't know, I'm not old, so I can't tell you. Okay, so another thing a lot of people did, or a lot of people said when I was first saying like, you know, what was going on was people would tell me, oh, he'll be okay. I know it. You just gotta, you just gotta stay positive. He'll be okay. He'll be okay. My dad's like literally like in a hospital bed, asleep, and just received his last rites, and people are like, he's gonna be fine. He's a fighter. You just gotta hang in there. He's gonna be okay. I appreciate the sentiment, but no. Instead of saying like, he's gonna be okay, just hang in there, you could say something like, you'll be okay, or you guys are gonna be okay, you know? Because that's more true than the other one. The other thing a lot of people would say when my dad first got diagnosed with esophageal, get out of your fly, with esophageal cancer, which let's get some more esophageal cancer awareness because it's a very deadly disease and a lot of people don't know about it, and it's like a silent killer. So if you are somebody that has acid reflux or acid reflux in your family, definitely make sure you're like treating that and you are aware of, you know, potential issues it could cause, and get an endoscopy when you get older. So just a little PSA in this vid. A lot of people would say, I'm praying for you guys, I'm praying for you. Now, to me, I'm praying for you, it basically equals like, I'm thinking of you, I'm putting positive vibes out for you in the universe. You're on my mind. I hope for the best for you. But I'm not religious, so who the fuck are you praying to? Number 7. Was he sick for a while? Was he sick for a while? I mean, what's a while? Like, was he sick for a while? Like, probably. But to me, like 11 months isn't that long. But then again, I've known people that have found out their parent had cancer and they died 2 weeks later. I think people say that because when someone's still pretty young and they pass away, I think it scares the shit out of you, right? It makes you face your own mortality, but people ask that because they feel really badly and they're like, oh my God, how is that family gonna deal with this? And they think maybe if he was sick for a long time, like we're prepared or we're ready and like it's okay and like we're gonna be okay. You know, I think people ask that because they want to know that you're gonna be okay and like it's just, they feel sad for you. I mean, no, he wasn't really sick for a while. I mean, yes and no, it was a huge surprise. But then ultimately when he did pass away, it was a feeling of like, okay, like a feeling of relief because we didn't like him that much. No, I'm just kidding. But I think what I learned is really, no matter how much time you have and no matter how much you know that something is going to happen, nothing really ever prepares you. Well, now I feel sad. Again, I really hope that no one that's watching this thinks, oh, did I say one of those things to Ange? I'm such a dick. Because it's not like I'm thinking of any person in particular with this list. Hopefully this is just a funny way to kind of demystify like the conversation surrounding this type of thing. And really the worst thing you can say is nothing at all. Not knowing what to say, so instead you just don't bring it up. Your friend going through this, it's not like they have forgotten that it's happening. Oh, sorry about your dad dying. I'm like, oh my God, I totally forgot. No, thanks, you've ruined my day. You know, it's always on the person's mind, in the back of their mind, so don't be afraid to just say, hey, how you doing? You know, that's all you need to say. Hey, thinking of you. Wanna go get lunch? I just remember thinking like people didn't know what to say around me, and it made me feel like an alien, because I'm like, I'm still the same person that I was like 2 days ago before this happened. Now it's like, oh, now you're the person whose parent has cancer or whose parent is dead. Like you're in this other category, when in reality, like I'm still unsure how to deal with it just like everybody else around me is. So anyway, that's all for this episode of Angel's Anything Show. I really hope that was helpful to all of you, and I miss my dad, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.